Hello, strength training yogis. This is the final video, and unfortunately I'm here in my little yoga room because it's not very nice outside. Well, it is nice, but it's still wet, and I don't have my husband to film, so we're back to this less than ideal filming situation, but we'll get the point across in any case. So this final video, we've got some more complex movements that we worked with last Thursday night. And I'll demonstrate the first few movements here that are the leg movements. And you'll see in the email that I've given you kind of this breakdown of the routine that you might incorporate using all this different information you've gotten over these 4 weeks. So the first two movements I'll show you are called the pivot squats and then the speed skaters. So with pivot squats, we had two options of how to do these. The first option I'll show you is like the full deal. So how we would do these is we would hold some kind of weight or object in front of the chest, and you don't even need a weight. You could just have your hands together in like a prayer position or something. And you'll come to a squat, come down, and then pivot all the way, squat, and then pivot back. Squat, pivot, squat, pivot, squat. So that's the movement. You'll do 10 total, so their back is 1, 10 on each leg. Now for those of you who didn't feel confident getting the full pivot, I call these around the clock. So you'll squat, pivot part way, squat, pivot part way, squat, pivot back, squat, pivot back. So you're just doing a little bit of modification to these movements so it's not as unsteady, but you're getting this bit of complex rotation happening forward and backward. Backward tends to be the more difficult style for most people. It requires a lot more belly work. So those are the pivot squats. If you want to get fancier with those pivot squats, one thing you might do is you might do something more with the arms. So you could do a squat with the press, a squat with the press, overhead with the ball. Yeah. You also might do, this one's even the more challenging, so kind of the third level of challenge here would be a squat with a swing. And the swing is only coming to shoulder height. I'm not going all the way overhead. I'm just coming right in front of the chest, pivoting around. So it's not very easy to do this on carpet. You might want to do it on wood floor, add a little bit of towel underneath you so that you can get that done. So those are the pivot squats. The next movement are these speed skaters, and you can do these with or without any weight. If you do them with weight, you'll just get more of a shoulder workout, a little bit more momentum in the spine as you step, and I'll show you an add-on if you want to choose to add on to the movement. So we'll start with the balls overhead or arms overhead. My arms have disappeared, but that's okay. You know where they are. So up top, we'll inhale here. As you step out, bend that knee, reach across, swing the arm back, and then step together. Step out, bend that outer knee, step together, arms overhead. Up and over. Yep. If you want to add some challenge, you could take a balance. Balancing. Yeah. If you choose to invest in a balance pad like we were using in class, you could place your standing foot here, step out, squat, and come up. Balancing. Yeah, so my leg that's stepping out is bending, keeping this leg straight. My opposite arm is reaching across, and this arm swings straight back behind. And with those movements, you'll do, I would recommend 15 on each side. So pivot squats was 10 and 10. Their back is 1. Speed skaters, out and back is 1. And I would do 15 on each leg. You know, but base it on how you're feeling and if you have the energy to do all those 15. So those are the 2 leg movements we did. And then the third leg movement I gave you was an option. So if you did the chair step-ups, we were working with limited equipment in the studio. If you're at home, you can have any amount of step up. It might be a step on your stairs in your house. It could be, I don't know, like those old platforms they used in the fitness classes that you can put at multiple heights. Any amount of stepping up and stepping down is just really good for the knees, the quads, and the glutes. So it's just a really simple, accessible movement. If you're in a park, you could use a picnic bench. I mean, it's just, you could do it anywhere. So I'll just show you on the chair, which is, for some of you, too high. So just kind of take it with a grain of salt and adjust as you need to. So the movement might be no weight at all. You could have a wall in front of you so that you can brace yourself, and it's just a step up and down. Now the foot that I'm stepping up on stays on the elevation. It doesn't come down. It stays up, and I'm just coming up and down. This leg that's free may step up onto the chair or hover in a balance. You could have hands on the wall or not. So you choose what's most stable for you. Now, if you want to add some challenge, then just add weight. And with the weight added, of course, you cannot brace yourself on the wall. So you have to be wary of that. But you would, if you wanted to, just hold the weight at your chest and step up and down, or step up and press and come down. Step up, press, come down. So you can get really clever with how much you want to do there. It's an option. It's not like a have to, but it can be a really great accessible movement that you can do anywhere you are. You don't have to have special equipment. And with the step ups, I'd say, again, 15 on each leg. It'll get you, but it'll feel good for those summer buns. You'll get those things fired up. So 3 leg movements, 1 was optional. And then we had a little bit of different arm movements this time. So with our double band, and you saw I gave you the link to find this thing online, we looped it around a pole. And that way we had a little bit more tension on it. And rather than having both arms, last week we did the water skier row. This week we did one arm. So we had a good amount of tension on that band. And as we rode, we had a little bend in the knees to support us, little belly support. With the arm extended, the knuckles will face up. As you row, the knuckles face out, like you're holding a hammer. Go in, knuckles up, come back, knuckles out, like you're going, yes. Yeah, and there should be tension on the band the whole time. So there's a sense that you could be pulled forward a little bit by that resistance band because it's got a good tug on it. You've got to really hold yourself here in the legs and belly and get a good pull. One arm, row. Any movement like this is called a row. You'll see I wrote about that in your email. So we did a row with 2 arms with a squat and row. We did a row in the first week with our hand on the bench, rowing. They're all the same movements. As you can see, it's all this, what we call mugger elbow. Get that mugger away from you. So they're all that same motion, and they work the back, these bigger muscles of the lats and the rhomboids in the middle of your spine. So those movements are all similar, just coming at it from a different angle, giving you some variety. Both arms, one arm, at a bend at the waist, all different kinds, same muscle group being worked. And so let's see here. The next movement we did was a chest press, and we used our resistance band and had our back foot on the pad. So the only reason that we used this balance pad behind us was to create a little bit of instability in the back leg. And what that does is it really requires you to use the back leg and the belly to support the movement, so the arms aren't just flopping in isolation. They're really coming up from the earth and using that movement. So I'll just demonstrate as if I'm hooked around a pole, but I've got my arms out in front, I've got my lunge stance, and I'm pressing here out in front. Chest press with a lunge in the legs. And you don't have to do switch legs here. So just do 15 of these presses, and then your second set, just switch the leg, and second set, do 15. And then third set, maybe come back to this leg and do 15 on this leg. So it's not that important, it's just that bit of instability behind you. So the chest press movement is similar to the ones we did in the first week, where we had both hands out and we did a press with one arm. Now, a lot of you in class were doing a press where those fists were coming out here. I corrected many of you to have the press come and click the knuckles together. This is to get just the last little bit of your pec muscle to come in together, and so get a little bit more squeeze in the pec, a little bit more tricep engagement. So the press, the elbows are high, the knuckles are in toward the armpits, press out, click the hands together. So that's the chest press. You can use an apparatus. If you don't have an apparatus at home to hook a resistance band, it's the same movement as a push-up. So you could be on the wall doing your push-up movement. You just don't get that little bit of closure here at the front. You could be lying on your back on this balance ball if you have one of these at home, and take a couple of weights and do the same movement, press. Yep, hands come together. So it's all this similar concept of movement at hitting it from different angles. So if you don't have a beam, you can lie on the back on the ball, or on a bench, or on the floor, and do that movement of pressing the chest. So push-ups on the wall, planks on the floor, push-ups on the floor, any of that. It's all the same idea, just with a different angle, a little bit different focus in the body. So just knowing these are all very similar, just with different angles to kind of shock the brain and the body a little in different ways. And then let's see, so with all these upper body movements, default to 15 repetitions in each of them. So with your one arm row, 15 on each arm. With your press, 15. And now with these next ones, they're tricep kickback, we call these. And they can be done either with one hand on the chair, knees are soft, elbow up and in towards your side body, and all you're doing is lifting the lower arm up and back. So none of this elbow and shoulder helping to swing. It's really isolated in the upper arm moving. If you want to challenge your balance and your belly a little bit, take one hand and knee on the ball, one foot standing, elbow in towards your side, kick the arm back. So these are tricep kickbacks. And these are really easy to access in your house. Take any amount of weight, a can of soup, something you've got lying around, an old rubber weight or something, and just do these to get that back of the arms. I know most women like to work those, especially as we get into summer. So those are tricep kickbacks, and geez, I think, you know what, that does it. So those are all the movements. Pivot squats, speed skaters, chest press, one arm row, tricep kickback, and then the option to do step-ups on the chair. So I hope that was informative enough. There was a movement that I thought about showing you in class and I didn't, and so I'll just show you here because a lot of you are yogis and like this type of movement, and you guys seem to like those movements where we got the side of our trunk. So we did those movements with these rotations. We got the side of the trunk, the legs draped over the ball, where we rotated on our back, and then we had the side planks that some of you liked and some of you hated on the floor. This one is another one we could get for the side body. And again, one that you could use weights or not use weights. And I didn't show you this in class, but this is sort of a little bonus for you at home. So you'll take this triangle shape with the legs so that I've got one foot out in front, one foot in back. I've got some width between my feet so that my hips can face the same direction. Arms are going to come up overhead. And as I come down, I'm going to open my chest, drop my lower arm, keep my upper arm lifted, and then come up, rotate forward. Open as I lever down at the waist, and come up. So you can see these are quite a bit more difficult with weight than without, because I've got weight pulling me down as I come down, and then weight that I have to lift up as I come up. So you'll really start to feel these in the side body. So without weights, you come in from this pyramid stance, if you are familiar with yoga, and you'll open up and take your triangle shape, and then come up and rotate to your upward pyramid stance. So these are really a nice thing that you can kind of insert into your exercise routine if you're feeling a lot of cardiovascular challenge. They're a nice recovery movement that gives you some of that side trunk exposure. So I would do 15 on one side, and then turn the feet, face the other direction, and do 15 on the other side. Nice stretch in the legs, work in the trunk, work in the upper body and shoulders. So there's your little bonus movement that you could try on at home. And had so much fun with you all. And please reach out if you have any questions or comments or feedback. I hope that after I get these twinsies out of me, I'll be able to do this again. I envision boot camp workouts for my yogis at some point. So keep in touch. Keep in touch with me at yogagenie.com. And I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Take very good care.